And hello, this is Older Gamers. Today I'm going to show you how to place items in your ship or in your outpost. And I'm going to go to my base in the Bohr system called Raptor Beach. And I'll kind of show you real quick why I call it that. When you get there, over by the greenhouses, you'll find these guys. Now in the wild they're very mean, but for some reason they don't like the greenhouses and they just sit there and stare and growl at them. And they will not attack you, which I kind of find kind of funny. But hey, why not just get some XP and just shoot them? Yeah, I don't usually like just shooting animals, but you know. And as you see, they don't even get aggressive when you shoot them, so that's kind of the way it is. Anyways, today I'm going to show you how to place items in your outpost or on your ship. Now, on your ship, only the item where you, or only the method where you pick something up, can you place items in your ship. You cannot go into the build menu in your ship. So keep that in mind. That, and every time you make a change to your ship, everything gets changed anyways, so I don't even bother doing that. So I'm going to get some items today that I want to place. And we'll grab a coffee. I keep forgetting to put coffee because it's not in miscellaneous items. And that's where most of the items that you find when you're out in the wild that you might want to have in your outpost. So I'm just going to grab a few items just to kind of show you how it's done. There's two methods. One is in the build menu. You can put the little cursor over an item and place it. And the other method is where you're not in the build menu and you'll kind of hover your cursor over an item and pick it up that way. But you have to hold the button down, otherwise you pick it up and put it in your inventory. So let's say you found pool balls out somewhere and you wanted to place one. So let's go ahead and we're going to drop the cue ball. And you'll notice that if you go into the build menu, after you load your gun for some reason, and you put your cursor over the item, you'll see that it will show up there in the top left. But when you go to place it, it places it weird. It's half buried, and that does the same thing on weights and dumbbells. So for something like that, you have to use the method where you just hover over the item and you're going to hold the button down. The same button if you were to pick it up, but you hold it down until it moves a little bit and then you can move it. Now when you're in this method, you have to be very precise because it will move other items in the area where you're trying to place something, and that doesn't work very good if you're trying to be real precise and put a bunch of items in the same place. It'll knock things over and you have to start all over again. So for example, let's say you wanted to move dumbbells. You'll click on it in the build menu and you'll see it's half buried and, well, it just doesn't work. So once again, you'll exit the build menu and you'll just hold the button down until it moves a little bit, and then you know you're safe. Otherwise, you'll pick it up by mistake. And then you can place it. And if you press down on the R3, now I'm using a controller. On PC it would be different. You'd have to figure that out, but you probably know. And you hold R3 and you can change the axis of how things move. And when you get it how you want it, boom, then you'll let go of it and you've placed the item. And once again, see, in this method, you got to be careful you don't bump into anything because you can knock everything over. When you're in the build menu, that won't happen. But the build menu works sometimes real good for some things, and other things it doesn't work as good. So let's show a couple more items here. Once you get used to it, and you might have to experiment a little bit, and you might not hold the button down long enough, and instead of being able to move something, you'll just put it back into your inventory, so you'll just have to drop it again and figure it out. But you just have to hold it down for a while. So let's say this here. Now this, I'll go into the build menu, and you'll see if you hit your L1, L2 buttons, you know, it flips it around, helps you place it the way you want to place it. And let's say I want to put it right here. And now sometimes if you can't get it where you want it by hovering over it, you can get it where you want it if you go under the table or shelf or whatever it is you're trying to do. So if you can't get it where you want it the other way, but on that one there's just too much stuff, it's not going to fit. So anyways, we'll just place this down here and boom. That's how you do it with the build menu. Now we'll go back something a little smaller, a little more precise. Let's pick up these pliers or clamps or whatever they are. Now if you try to do this in the build menu, you'll find you can place it where you want a lot of times, but not always, and it's not as precise. And let's say you want to put something in way back here, it won't let you. Again, if you move back a little bit and put the little cursor underneath the item, you'll see here in a second, there you go, it's up on top. So we'll go ahead and put it right there. Now if you wanted to be a little more precise, you could use the other method and kind of bring that in just a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. And we'll do one more item here. Now this item here you could pick up using the build menu. And if you do the build menu, you'll see that if it's not standing right up, well actually we're not in the build menu right now, but you can place it kinda, but some items are harder to do that way. So once again, let's kick it over and we'll use the build menu. And when you click on something in the build menu, it automatically just puts it right side up. So you can place this item wherever you want and you don't have to worry about it falling down because you don't have it just perfectly level when you go to place the item, because that's one thing with the other method that will happen. So that's kind of how you do it. You might have to play around with it a little bit. Once again, like with these weights, if you move it in the build menu, you can't place things on top of another. Like I'll go into the build menu now instead of just doing the grab method, and you'll see that you cannot stack the weights. It just won't do it. So you'll exit the build menu and then you'll hold the button down and click on the item, and then you could stack several of these as high as you want. Well, within reason, I'm sure. So anyways, that's how it's done. Now let's say like the hookah canister, I had it just laying down. I probably used the pickup method instead of the build menu, but if you wanted that thing standing up, all you would do is get it right over there and it'll say up in the screen, and you click the button and it puts it right side up, and then bam, it's standing up instead of laying down. So you'll have to play with things a little bit, and you'll probably knock things over that you don't want to knock over. That'll happen. Don't worry about it. You'll just have to fix it. Especially if you're like trying to put fruit in a fruit bowl or something, it gets really difficult. And just to show you one of the other things I like to do in my outposts, I want to make sure that my people have something to read. So I always have a box of books. And those, in order to drop those books in there, you have to pick them up off the ground and drop them in. The build method will not, or the build method will not let you drop something in there like that. So that's how it's done. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, leave a comment. And once again, if you took time out of your day to watch one of my videos, I thank you very much. Please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. And I thank you very much.